Check.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Coming to you live.
Perfect.
KPWX.
The bone.
The bone.
Welcome back to Privy. Privy is a podcast about bathrooms, recorded this week from my good friend, and it's close to the bathroom. We did our best, but we don't want to impose, and like my whole setup is kind of what we like to call thrown together, and so I personally was like, yeah, I'm gonna do some property damage if I try to fit this table into the bathroom this week. So we're right around the corner. The bathroom's not far away. I can sense its presence. I always can. But I gotta share real quick before, and you can feel free to just start telling me that you're ridiculous anytime you want. But so this week I felt like I should get a trophy. If we're playing like Vigi games or anything like that, I'd unlock something. But I did fart my wife awake.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. It was totally accidental, and I would just, you're waking up for the day and it hits you and you just squeak one off. And this one was loud enough and long enough to where she did like open her eyes and look over at me like, what are you doing? And so, yeah, it's something else to be married to me. That's what we've learned. But yeah, I just kind of feel accomplished in some ways and embarrassed in others, and that's all you can do. But I have the honor this week of crashing and posting up and hanging out with here in the Gavin Cave. This is awesome.
Yep, that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, this is a treat because I'm used to like, first of all, tile floor, and I'm enjoying like. I've shared, like, often when I'm sitting doing the show, my feet fall asleep because of, like, when you're posted on the toilet for, like, an hour.
Yeah.
It's bad.
The old legs start to fall asleep.
Yes.
Yep.
In the worst ways possible.
Throne fatigue.
Throne fatigue. Yeah. I like it. Throne fatigue. Have you seen those, like, squatty potties? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I've always been curious to try one of those.
So, me too. One of my coworkers, she says that she has one for every bathroom in her house.
Wow.
And I think that's too much.
Dedicated, though.
But, like, is the thought that, like, getting your legs up forces everything, flushes it all? I don't know.
I think there's some science to it that I've seen in the short videos I've seen, but I've never tried one myself. So
if you're trying to prove... Well, yeah. So, Gavin, thanks for having me. And go ahead. I want you to just, like, share who you are. What are you into?
Oh, what am I into? Well, obviously, you got past. My name's Gavin. 28 years old.
Not single.
Not single. Happily married. Just proud resident of the Portland metro area. I love what they've done with the place. Up here, it's interesting being from a place now when because my wife and I like to travel, but usually when you travel, when you meet somebody new or something like that, the first thing they ask is like, what do you do and where are you from, stuff like that, and we're like, it used to be, we'd say, we're from Portland, and people are like, I hear it's nice there, like people bike and it's a little rainy, but that they have good food and all this other stuff. We'd be like, yeah, but now it's Oh my.
I'm so sorry.
How are you guys doing? That's usually what it's followed up by now. And it's, we saw that on the news, and yeah, you did. So
it's always good to be from a place that's on the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's enough said on that, but, I mean... But other than that, no, so, yeah, my wife and I been married 5 or so years. I got to know Hunter through college at the Great Bible College. Yeah. And one of your previous guests, Austin.
Yeah, and the Boner Champ.
Yeah, as he's known, B Champ for short. how did you originally? Austin and I were roommates. I think that's when you first started to get to know me.
My crash course, and troubleshoot this, you were rooming with Chase Silver.
Oh yeah, freshman year.
And that's because and how I came to know you. Sorry, Chase. I don't even think you listen. I don't care. But Chase was trying to sell me some nonsense drink.
What were those?
And you were like, you weren't with him doing it. You know what I'm saying? But like you were shortly in tow.
I was there by default.
Yeah,
yes.
You were there as like morale and emotional support for your roommate. But he came trying to peddle his wares, and that was my introduction to you. And I didn't know who you were, and then I just saw you around the dorm, and then. The next thing I know, like, you know, I'm having Guffy problems with my rooming situation, which looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, this is mostly me.
That's right.
And then I'm like, I'm coming to their room for solace.
That's right. We were the sanctuary.
Yeah. You were the sanctuary for two parties, and it was conflicting.
Yes. Which was great entertainment for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like getting a front row ticket, and maybe that's what a counselor's job's like. I don't know, but we weren't doing much counseling. I more stoked the fire. So
I think you guys actually did exactly what counseling is, which is, except for making a lot of money. I think you guys did exactly what counseling is, which is listening to people talk about things that they're upset about or worried about.
Basically, yeah.
Every counselor is triggered. I do more than that. Anyway, so I have some questions, and I've already shared, like, feel free to pull the hatch anytime, but you have spent time in how would you put, not, I don't want to put like your line of work, but like how would you describe it to someone if you were like, I want you to know what I do, but like I don't want you to know the specifics. I want to know like what I'm safe with.
Right. What you're safe with. Safe word. Be safe word. I guess say I'm in law enforcement.
Perfect. So in law enforcement, if you are out and about, like, and you're on duty, and the urge strikes you, something that I've often wondered is, where do you go? And is the answer very simple, or do you like go back to a facility, or like go back to, do you have like prearranged? Right. I don't know.
Oh man, I could go on and on about this one.
Perfect.
So what has helped me through this situation, the need to go, because everybody has to go.
Yeah.
I live by a simple motto, and I usually teach it to new people when I'm training them and stuff like that. The motto is, the world is my bathroom.
Perfect. I live by that too.
So, you know, and what I only can speak to the guy side of law enforcement, but the nice thing about being a male is it's easier to get the job done.
Fair enough.
But if we're talking, I gotta go, the need to go, where I'm actually going to need to sit down to do my business. The big number 2. You can find yourself in a pinch.
Dang.
So not always do you have the convenience of being close to the office that you work out of.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just gotta tough it out, or sometimes you gotta make a hasty plan.
Well, what is the hasty plan?
Okay. So the thing is to start off, going to the bathroom while working is a little bit more of a complicated process in the first place, because number one, it seems like every time that like you need to do something, like whether it's like, man, I really need to eat right now, or I really need to go to the bathroom right now, it's somehow like somewhere in the universe of getting police calls, that's always when you're getting called to the next call or something like that. So that obviously can be a major inconvenience. Trying to drive fast while you're like, man, I gotta go.
Yeah.
This could be bad. But then also just by the gear that we wear. So we wear a belt that has our tools and stuff like that on it. And those belts are held on by what they call belt keepers. Okay. So basically, when you wear a duty belt for work, you wear like a normal like belt like anybody else would wear, and then you wear your duty belt over the top of it, which is a thicker, wider belt, and usually more sturdy because it's carrying heavy stuff. And then you run what's called belt keepers through it. So those are like a thin, since we wear all leather gear, it's like a thin piece of leather
Huh.
that runs through it between the belts.
Yes.
It goes underneath the bottom belt and then snaps together.
Okay.
So it's basically to keep the belts together. Because otherwise, like, you know, if you're moving around or wrestling with somebody or something like
everywhere.
that, yeah, your belt could be coming off, and that's the last thing you want to have happen. So you wear these things called belt keepers, and some people wear more, some people I wear 4 of them. So you wear like 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and that's what keeps everything together. But as you can imagine, if you're in a hurry,
you got to undo
those bad boys.
No.
And then also you just have to be thinking about, like, when you do your business, you're not only are you having to concentrate on, like, you know, the normal things that go into the bathroom and getting off these belt keepers, but also you have to keep track of this duty belt that has, you know, your firearm on it. And all other sorts of things that you don't want people to have.
Right.
So there's been many circumstances where, like, if there's a hook or something in a restroom, like, that's great. But if, like, the hook's, like, way far against the wall, like, you're thinking through all the bad things that could happen if someone busts down the door. And, so sometimes it's just like a matter of holding it. But if there's a well set up bathroom, and you'll see it like in most police stations, they usually have like a place to set that down. But those are all different things that you have to think about. That I guess normally person wouldn't think about. But at this point, since I've been doing the job for a little while, you're pretty quick at getting those belt keepers off. I mean, I can just snap those bad boys off.
So it's like you're only... There's not like a... So on the way over here, so on my drive out, total honesty moment, I had to make a pit stop at McDonald's to do the number 1. Is there any of that happening where it's just like, hey, I'm going in there and I'm hitting the stop and doing my deed and getting out of here? Like...
Yes.
Okay.
There is that. A lot of churches now, like, they set up what's called like a first responder rest area, and basically, which is really cool, they'll like, they give us a code to get into like the back door of a church, and then they have like an area like with a bathroom, and then also like an area that you could like type reports and like some snacks and coffee and stuff like that. And those
That's
are, like,
awesome.
huge. And so it's kind of gotten a little bit bigger. So there's now like a network kind of them. So like, it's good for us to know where those are, because like I said, since we sometimes end up, you know, sometimes like over an hour away from the office.
That's awesome.
It's nice that you can have those to back as a backup plan. But usually the last place, like a last resort, is like either stopping at like a rest area or going into like a McDonald's, because unfortunately in my line of work, like when I go into McDonald's, like as a police officer, it's like everybody's looking at you. And it's like the last place I want to go to, especially if I'm doing that. But if it's number 1, if I can sneak off into the bushes, and since I work at night, it's pretty easy to sneak away. I'd much rather do that than go somewhere else. That's just personally. Like I said, that's why I live by the motto, the world is my bathroom. So as I drive around places, I'm like, if I see somewhere, I've probably peed there. I've probably peed there.
That's a good spot.
Yeah.
Dang. Man, I don't know what I expected you to say, but it wasn't that. Like, I really thought you were going to be like, yeah, you know what? Starbucks and these 5 places are the best places. And, man, they don't tell you that when you... Yeah, so I think I'm going to start trying to do that more without cause. Just
you live by that, and if you think about it, it's natural.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean...
As long as you're not exposing yourself, like...
Yeah, as long as you're not exposing yourself, like, be clever about it. But I don't think anybody's going to complain.
Right.
You know, as long as you're doing it in a courteous location.
Yeah.
I think we all have the wit to know where those are.
Oh,
those aren't.
Well, and if you don't...
If you don't, well, you'll learn.
So, and again, this might be one of those questions, but has anybody that you have had to detain, or whether it's like you had to tackle or had to do anything, has anybody ever like messed their pants in the midst of that interaction? Yeah, whether my thought is like, I don't even know if you use or have, or but like, has anybody like tased and like just like...
I haven't run into like someone losing control of their bowels like in a deployment of a taser, but I I've had multiple stories about, and not all of them are my own. And that's kind of the thing about the job is like
You share them.
you share stories, and that's just kind of how you get through your day. Is swapping stories. The bathroom thing is interesting because it's almost like on a weekly basis that I'll stop somebody for doing something weird, like a traffic stop or whatever, and the first thing out of their mouth is, "I gotta go to the bathroom."
Yeah.
And it's more than you'd think.
Right. Sounds like the high school kids I work with.
Yeah. So, number one, I wouldn't even think of like that being a first thing that would come out of my mouth if a police officer stopped me is like, "I gotta go." But I get that like all the time. And at the beginning, when I was really new, I was like, "Well, I guess he's just gotta go." And so, kind of let him and be like, "Hey, like."
Right.
There's a McDonald's right there or something like that. But
you
then
should be like, there's the bush. That's what I do.
Yeah,
figure it out.
My naivety, I guess, was kind of my approach. But then as time went on, I realized this is happening way too often that all these people are in a dire emergency. So now I've kind of learned to filter who really thinks, like, if it's, the old lady that's maybe got a colostomy bag or something weird, like, okay, I probably believe you, but when it's just Joe Blow citizen, I'm like, I don't think that is a true emergency for you right now.
You can hold it.
Yeah,
you'll manage.
So I do run into that way more than you think.
Yeah.
But in personal experience, I do have a couple stories. One would be, so this isn't happened to me personally, but it happened to a guy I worked with. So he had recovered a stolen vehicle. And after they had gotten the guy who had stolen the vehicle all detained and everything like that, a normal thing to do is like search the vehicle and everything like that, make sure there's nothing crazy in there. So, he's going through like a normal stolen vehicle or whatever, and he lifts the center console, and lo and behold, in that center console, the guy had taken a giant dump.
No way.
Right there in the center console.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Almost just the last thing you'd think you'd see. But I guess when you gotta go, you gotta go. And if it's not your car,
imagine like the person who has to like take that to the cleaner person that like details the car. It's like, hey, listen,
right?
We didn't do anything. Yeah. But this is on, like, just so you know.
I swear this wasn't me.
Yeah, in that center console, there's more than we know how to handle. Right. We need your expertise.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
And then I guess another quick one is, actually, I think it's the same guy. He's just had bad luck. But he was investigating an impaired driver, and he gets the guy out of the car or whatever, and before he's going to start this whole investigation, the guy's like, "I gotta go." And he's like, "All right." And he's like, "No, I gotta go." And he's like, "Well, I guess you can go if you want, or I prefer you to hold her." I don't know exactly what he said. But the dude just dropped trow in the middle of the roadway and just starts pooping.
No way.
So how it was described to me was he's like, "Okay, I guess this is happening right now."
Dang.
We in our patrol cars, we carry around like these, they're kind of like paper towels sort of things that are supposed to be for other messes. But
yeah,
this guy, a mess was unfolding
oh my god,
straight in front of him. So he gave him a couple of those to try and clean up, and then just continued on with his way.
Dang.
But obviously the people we're dealing with aren't of usually a clear mindset.
Yeah.
So
yeah, often impaired.
That is where we're at.
Dang.
Yeah. But mostly, I don't have that many people defecate themselves. Good term for that. When I'm interacting with them, or in the back of my car when I'm taking them to jail or something like that.
That was
next. I've had more the opposite. I've had people pee themselves and then vomit. On the back of my
really?
Car. Yeah, which is
because probably like, are they like OD'd on something or?
Yeah, if because people freak out.
Yeah.
Like if they get stopped and they'll eat a bunch of drugs, which would make them either pass out or vomit. And then also if you're dealing with a bunch of intoxicated people.
Yeah.
That is a natural
skeet it.
reaction. So
Yeah.
they're going to urinate themselves sometimes or
Oh my god.
or vomit, make quite a mess.
In the squad car.
Yeah. So fortunately,
What?
when we take them to the jails have people called trustees.
Okay.
And they're inmates. Well, I guess if you're not an inmate, I don't know what they technically consider you if you're at the jail, because if you go to a jail, if you're in a jail, like you can't spend more than a year there, so you're not in prison.
Okay.
It's run by the county. So I guess you're an inmate, you're a prisoner, whatever it is. Anyways, they're people that have been there for a little while, that have proven themselves trustworthy, hence the word trustee, that they get to do some extra duties to get them, kind of probably out of the cell or out of the common area, mingling with other people. So anyways, they will come and clean out your car for you.
What?
If they're available. So that's always really nice, because then you're not having to do it. But there have been times that I've had to you just got to clean it out yourself, and what is going through your mind, you're like, this isn't what I thought I signed up for. But I mean, you also got to drive around in the car, so it's like, you're going to want to drive around with that smell and scent the rest of your shift.
You think some people are doing it on purpose, though? Like, they get in the car and they're like, fine, I'll hit you with this.
Yeah. Some of that is that they're just like, you know what? My night's already screwed up. Bud. So take this.
That sucks.
Some of them are just truly...
They're too far gone to figure it out. Yeah. It's like, no, I'm not waiting. We're doing this now.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
See, man. Wow. So do you have any stories either from growing up or it can be anything, but like bathroom or things in the bathroom? It doesn't have to be like the toilet, but like any sort of stories that you have.
I mean, I think you kind of talked about where we went to school and how that we had the big communal restrooms or whatever.
Yes.
But my freshman year, we had like that private bathroom basically across the way from us.
Oh, yeah. And, y'all were upstairs, right?
Yeah, we were upstairs.
Okay. Yeah.
So, like, there's the normal, like, college dorm room bathrooms or whatever,
right,
where there's a lot of people in it. Maybe it was Austin that talked about that. He said that he doesn't like going to the bathroom around other people or whatever. I don't have any qualms with that.
Yeah.
But
you're normal.
If I have a private bathroom, like, that's even better. But it was it wasn't ours, but it was right across the room right across the hallway from our room.
Right.
So...
Yeah, so right across the hall.
Yeah. So literally in super close proximity. And we were like, Chase and I were always pretty courteous about, if you'd use that, like you'd close the door or whatever, stuff like that. But people would routinely go there and just blow that thing up. And, the scent would just naturally find its way all the way into our dorm room. And... it was just constantly kind of having to explain to yourself, to other people. Like, that wasn't me, man. Someone just came and just blew this thing up. But I remember there was a bathtub in there, like a jet tub, which was really random. Yeah.
I was always told that was for the kids who played sports. Like, that's what I was always told. I don't know if that's
they
real.
Definitely weren't using it.
Yeah.
But there was a tub in there, and I thought it was never cleaned. It was really gross. Oh. Like, it was dust and stuff like that in there. And I'm already, like, kind of grossed out by... baths, but
perfect. More on that in a moment.
Someone like towards the end of the year was like, "Yeah, I just went and took a bath in the jet tub. It was awesome," or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, like that thing's just been sitting there this whole year. Like no janitors cleaned that. Yeah, I haven't cleaned it.
Half the people don't even know it's there. Like
yeah. And I just was like, I don't remember who it was, but I remember that someone did towards the end. I was like, oh,
someone's really itching for a shower.
Yeah, that's not right.
Yeah, what a disaster. Wow. Yeah. So one of the things that I thought about this is your relationship with coffee.
Yes.
So you like myself, and I think you actually might be more of like, you've probably got this more dialed in than I do.
A fellow addict. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So have you noticed, like, how has the coffee world interacted with like the bathroom world for you? Because for me, it's a mutual relationship. Like they coincide directly.
Yes.
Best friends.
Never more of a true statement. The thing with coffee is we all love it. I mean, I guess not everybody loves it. But,
well, all the people who get it.
Yes. So I drink a lot of coffee. Anybody who does drink a lot of coffee knows how it reacts with their body.
Yeah.
And it does seem, I mean, especially that first cup of the day.
Yeah.
Once it seems like it almost coincides with like when you've taken the almost last sip. It's either last sip or first sip.
Yep. Sometimes it's both.
Yep. Or sometimes it's both. It's not usually mid cup. It's usually last sip or first sip, where you've either polished it off or that as soon as that just sweet nectar has reached your lips.
Yeah.
You got to go.
The bean juice delight.
Yeah. The bean juice delight. It's also amazing. I don't know. I think that's a great...
One might say it's literally God intended it.
Yes. I mean, it is a natural supplement of this world.
Yeah.
And completely natural and organic. And it's a natural I think it's a diuretic. That's what I say. It's a diuretic. Yeah. And it's my laxative. It's nature's laxative.
Yeah.
And that's why I choose to use it.
Yeah. So then follow-up question that definitely is going to cross the line, which is, have you ever... So one of my things that I'm noticing recently is that I'll have so much coffee in the morning that first big pee, urination of the day, it smells like a cup of coffee.
Yes. I have encountered this.
And it's uncanny. And I will share first, and feel free to be like, whoa, get out of my house. I have often thought, and I never would it taste like coffee? Ooh. Since it smells so much? Now, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But like the thought has come into my brain of...
Giving that a little...
Yeah. Is it like...
A little sip.
How concentrated are we here?
It makes you wonder. I mean, because urine is sterile, they say.
Yeah. Well, and Bear Grylls used to just like suck it straight out of the bladder. So...
It might have a hint of it. I mean, if you have asparagus, I mean, that's rank, and that'd be a whole other topic. There is what the science behind that.
What sort of nutrients? Oh yeah, the other one that gets me just like Cheerios, dude. You eat a big bag of Cheerios, it makes your pee smell. There must be some. It's wild. It smells like oats.
Something in there, but yeah, that's always a true tell. I know if I've had probably more than my fair share, more than my servings worth of coffee in the day, if I'm starting to smell it coming out one of the ends of my body. Yeah. You're like, well, I should probably dial it back a little bit here, Maybe we're on cup 4 or 5 at this point.
Yep.
And you know what? But that's the great thing about coffee is I feel like it's so much more controlled doses of caffeine compared to like, especially in my line of work, like a lot of guys like are living off of caffeine and energy drinks and stuff like that. And I figure... I really don't drink energy drinks unless I'm really, really desperate. I figure if I stick it straight to coffee, at least it's not like, like an energy drink, which is probably like 6 cups of coffee at once.
Right.
Well, I'm like portioning it out throughout the day.
Well, I think you also like coffee. Like
I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
Some people don't like it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you enjoy it,
it's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we can get along.
Yeah.
But
I just find that people that don't like... Does your wife like coffee?
Yes, she loves
perfect.
it.
I'll speak as loud as I was then. Yeah. I find that people that don't like coffee have to let the people who do like coffee know, like, about how it's a drug and like, oh, you're addicted.
Right, while they're drinking a glass of green tea.
Yeah,
anyways,
while they're drinking some other caffeinated something.
Their refresher thing.
Oh, jeez. Supping it. Wow. There it is. Yeah, so...
I love it. I mean...
Did your brothers ever... Did y'all ever mess with each other in the bathroom? Like... Because I don't want to speak for you, but y'all don't seem like the type that would like get super malicious with something like that.
No, we didn't. And that's what always surprises people. Yeah, it's like people always hear like, because I grew up with 2 other brothers and I'm the middle brother, that like, oh man, it must have been just fights all the time and like just full on, just prank wars and all this other stuff. And it's like, yes, there was maybe a little bit of that or like a little bit of the normal argument, but for some reason we weren't like, I don't know, we didn't mess with each other too much. I mean, there was a little bit of that, but not like...
A healthy amount.
Yeah. So, I mean, the closest thing I can think to that is that, I mean, just since we shared a bathroom was...
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure you're familiar with this, but if you've ever taken a shower immediately after someone has destroyed the bathroom, whether it's you or somebody else,
yes.
you get this unique, fog of war.
Yeah.
That combines with the fumes and
yes.
That's unpleasant.
Yeah. It kind of, my thing is like once that like damp air mixed with smell, it settles into the towels. Like that's what happens, really. Like,
so that's how you're starting your day. That is, and that's not a great place to be. I mean, it's not as bad probably as if if you've already gotten in the shower and then you realize like, oh no, I got to poop. And you got to make that tactical decision of, do I have time to get out and just go ahead and poop and then restart this whole process over again?
So this will bring me to one of my I have some questions that I ask everybody.
Yeah.
And one of them is have you ever performed a waffle stomp?
No, I have not.
And then I guess caveat, would you perform a waffle stomp? It's fine if not. Yeah. In fact, you're healthy if not, I believe. Yeah. But
if I needed to, I would. I would do what needs to be done.
This isn't like an O.J. Simpson if I did it.
If the glove happened to fit, I would have to do it.
It's all shrunk though, so
no. Because I have been in a situation through my life where one would maybe need to be performed, but I'm usually operating at that scale.
Oh yeah. I'm
operating at like 1, 2, 3, kind of routinely.
Oh really?
Usually. So.
Like, are you talking like it's pretty thin?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So the times that has happened, and I think that's usually probably because I was like sick or like something wasn't going right. And usually if something isn't going right, you're usually at a 1 or 2 or whatever. Yep. So the times that there's been a close call or like maybe, that wasn't a fart.
Yeah.
It's gone down pretty easily. So
yes.
Like I said, if it needed to be done, it needed to be done.
I think I'm with you because I definitely operate in a more thin existence.
Yeah. Which is a good probably place
I think
to
it's
be.
the coffee. Coffee helps it.
Colon health.
Gut health. Activia.
Yeah.
Well, good. Good to know. While we're on the topic of showers, have you ever taken a dark shower? Do you remember this? This was like a thing at Corbin for a minute.
I think I was introduced to it there.
Okay, because that's where I learned about it, and it's my go-to. I only take dark showers now. To the point where like people are like, "You're crazy. I can't see." It's like, no, not seeing is the fun of it. It's the enjoyment.
Yes, I'm a fan of them. On my current schedule now, since I work at nighttime, I'm not having to wake up usually super early to go to work. When I do like them is if I have to wake up early.
Yeah.
If it's an early morning shower and you're kind of already in the like.
Yep.
Just that fog in the morning.
Yeah.
Dark shower comes in clutch.
Absolutely.
And your eyes adapt. So, even if there's a little bit of light poking in under the door or something like that, that's enough.
Yeah.
To feel your way around.
The in the morning, it really transitions you from being asleep to awake. It's kind of like having been given birth.
Yes, that's what I was thinking
You've been birthed.
Yeah, it's like a bathtub birth every morning.
Yes.
You're born again. Some would say. Every morning.
Yeah. You've been baptized. He christens you.
Just christens me on my way out.
Yes, son. Well, perfect. Have you ever eaten or drank anything in the shower? Few things that I've come to gather as like people have shared. Like, yeah, this is my thing. A cold soda. I've got a homie. He's just like, yeah, dude. I get off work, cold soda in the shower. It's my thing. And then the other one is an orange that you just eat like an apple. You just kind of, and all of the fluids just go in all of the places, and you don't worry about it.
Yes, huge
perfect.
Fan. Huge fan of cold beverage in the shower.
Dang, really?
I've tried that. It's not like I would do it routinely, but
if given the opportunity,
I have had a cold beverage in the shower.
Wow,
it's pretty nice.
Yeah,
I think it's the opposites thing that's
working, see, that's what he said,
and then also it's almost that like this shouldn't be possible. I think it's
Yeah.
one of those
It feels
first
off
world
limits.
things.
Yeah.
It feels off limits.
It's kind of like I don't know if you've ever like. So this moment was in college for me where, mom and dad, they always tell you like, well, you can't have this for breakfast.
Yep.
And there was that moment where it was when I was in the townhouse with Travis and Chad. And I just remember the day where I don't even know what I ate, but it was like dessert that I had for breakfast. And I was like
a piece of chocolate cake for breakfast.
Yeah. It's like, this is off limits, right?
Yeah.
Like, isn't
you're
somebody,
waiting.
yeah. Isn't somebody supposed to show up and tell me to stop? Like, God? No. And nobody, yeah.
I think that's it's that and the opposites, I think, that really get you. But you gotta act quick because
it's getting warm.
that drink's gonna warm up. Yeah. So
That's
have you tried it?
I haven't. So I did a juice box after my homie told me.
Yeah.
Which those don't hold up well in the shower. The cardboard is not meant for that
doesn't
much
seem
wet.
good. I mean, it does have like some wax.
So I just drank it real quick, just squash it down. Yeah. Popsicle is the thing that I've hit up. The popsicle in the shower, especially if it's one that like it's on the stick and not in the tube of stuff. Because you don't have to worry about it dribbling everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah, that actually seemed nice.
You've already shared a little bit, but go ahead and you can explain yourself. And you're not explaining it to me because I agree wholeheartedly. But you're not a fan of baths.
No.
So why is that? Because I agree with you. I'm not either.
I don't like the fact that you're getting in the bath to get clean, but yet you're sitting in your own filth.
Yep.
My wife loves baths.
Same here.
She doesn't like take them like every day, but she does like she'll take them every once in a while.
It's a treat.
Yes, it's a treat.
Yeah,
like pour herself a bath. But I probably haven't taken a bath in years. I maybe since I was a kid.
I was gonna say I'm confident I was a child.
Yeah, and it was a situation that was probably
get in the bath, you sicko.
Yeah. You haven't taken a bath in 6 days.
Yeah.
And you did. No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the last time I had a bath, my cousins and I ran in the mud, and my parents were like, "Nope."
Yeah, you need to get clean.
Get in there.
Which speaking of that, and not to go too much off topic, but why? And since you've got a couple kids, why is it that kids don't like baths or showers?
I mean, so I think from what I can tell, it's probably more than two things, but the top two things that I've observed is number one, that activity is taking away from some other activity that they want. Okay. Whether it's I want to watch TV or I want to just play.
Right.
And it doesn't happen often. Like it happens probably. I mean, there's probably some perfect parent that's giving their kid a bath every day, but like realistically, it's probably happening at most every other day, probably once every 2 or 3 days. Like, and it happens just seldom enough to where the kids are like, baths again. But I had plans to go play Legos or go do this. And then the other thing, and I think this is a shower thing. We've transitioned both of our kids to showers early because I've noticed this. There's a sensory thing that happens with showers, like where if you wait too long, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor, so they can shout at me some other time. But like, if you wait too long, the idea of like the shower water hitting you, there's a sensory like I don't like the water hitting me, and then you get these adult children that are like 20 and they're like, I don't like showers. It's sensory. It hurts my skin. It's like, okay, well,
some sensitive skin.
Yeah. And so, but for me, honestly, I think it's a time thing. Like I've convinced my son that you don't have to spend 20 minutes in there. Right. You can get in, shower, rinse off. If you want to play in the bath, you got some time and then you're out. And he's able to lock it down in 5 minutes now. That's where he's like, yep. And I'm right back to what I was doing.
Okay, so I guess that makes sense to me because kids are more focused in the now.
Yes.
And so they're like, hey, I can't play games right now because I got to do this dumb bath. Okay.
And the other thing is like kids love baths. Like most kids, you get them in the bath and you toss a toy in there and they're set, man. They're ready to go.
It's like this local swimming pool.
And then it's like, hey, you got to get out. You look like a raisin. Like, get out of the tub. And then you're fighting the other direction where it's like, do you remember like 40 minutes ago when you didn't want to do this?
Yeah.
All I want for you is to go back to that.
Right.
But yeah, as far as I can tell, that's what's going on.
Okay. Which, speaking of that,
yeah.
Do you have any good stories of where, the bath has now become a toilet?
Oh, 100%. I'm pretty confident that both of my children have pooped in the toilet. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is they never do it like towards the end where it would be convenient. And you're like, well, we were mostly done. We'll just scoop out, run the water down.
Yeah.
It happens like right at the beginning.
Oh,
and they get in and it's like warm and it's like...
and that's when the water's most soluble.
Yeah, and it just disperses.
Yeah.
And so usually what happened, my wife, she often is the bathing. She's doing most of the bathing. Mm-hmm. Nowadays it's really just our daughter because our son, he's kind of self-service.
He's kind of self-service, yeah.
But I remember, I'm pretty sure it was my son when he was little, got him in the bath and like it's almost like he touched the water and just... And you just see it's floating everywhere. And it's like, well, take him out, set him here. He's got it on his leg. Like, it's the worst. Mm-hmm. And then you run it down. You're trying to, like, stop it to put it in the toilet.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
just a runaway log.
Actually, if somebody wants to make, like, some, like, fishnet type thing for bathtubs for when kids do that, peeing is more, like, they pee a lot at first. And then eventually they learn... Like, because whenever they pee or poop in there, it doesn't happen more than a handful of times because they have to be taken out and it's cold. And they're like, I hate this. Oh. I want nothing more to be back in. And so then like...
So this is almost a potty training.
Yeah, the going in the bath, they kind of learn it. Now, if you let them stay in there, they'd probably go like, yeah, this was good.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm sure there's like some sort of parenting trick where it's like, well, if you just let them sit in it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. Definitely has happened.
Yeah, they almost need some sort of, how they kind of like dredge rivers or lakes. Some sort of bathtub.
Slag.
Yeah, sort of bathtub.
Yeah.
Dredging device that just you hit the button.
Oh, I'm confident that they make some sort of like drop down net thing.
Yeah.
It's like, we're gonna catch all of it.
Yeah.
Even if it was just for bath toys, like as they go, those get gross. By the way, the inside of them, like you gotta swap those out every couple months
because just a bacteria.
You can never get all the water out, and you can kind of start to see the black like. Ick. Yeah,
that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, you go and you see like if you ever. Don't do this, but do it. Mm-hmm. Like if you go to people's house who have kids, just take a peek at those bath toys. I guarantee you're going to see something weird growing.
And but that would be weird. Would that be weird though if
if you
so imagine someone walks in on you in the bathroom and you are
you're staring up the back end of some rubber duck like, oh no.
Oh no, this isn't good.
Yeah. Y'all need to change these out.
Yeah, I don't think that would go over. Now, I mean, I know I'd be in free reign at your place, but if someone didn't have full context for that, I don't know if I'd be invited back.
Yeah. It's like,
But also, is it your duty, for the health of those kids to inspect?
I'm calling child services.
No. There's black mold growing inside.
You got black mold in the rubber ducks.
Yeah.
No. I'm sure it's healthy and safe.
Yeah.
The thing is, like... Kids like get access to just all sorts of weird, like unsanitary things.
Right.
That as I look back, I'm like, how am I alive?
Yeah.
Like, how did I not contract some weird bacteria?
Mm-hmm.
But they're like resilient as all get out. It's crazy. Like they'll get sick and they're like next day they're fine, and then like an adult gets sick and it's like, yeah, it's been a week and a half and I'm still feeling it. I don't know. They're built different for sure. Right. So, what type of toilet paper do y'all get on?
So, I personally am not picky. In terms of toilet paper, like I recognize the differences between a single ply, at a public location versus
bad.
The nice Charmin.
Yep.
Triple ply, like, is this, I could lay my head on this
sort
of ply. So I do appreciate the differences between the two. but I'm just not like if I end up in a single ply situation, which is actually fairly common because pretty much anywhere that's a business has got single ply.
They ain't stocking
Anywhere.
good stuff.
So whether usually like the gym, my gym has single ply. My work has single ply pretty much everywhere. So I've been in single ply situations a lot. I just make up for it by using more.
Yep, you just double up.
You just go, and then it makes you wonder, do they know this? Whoever's making this business decision? Or do they just go, you know what? The people that are going to use a ton are going to use it regardless? I don't know.
So I asked that of a custodian, and he told me that they do know that people are just going to use more, but that they don't care because the thought is that somebody knowing that there's single ply in that bathroom, they're just going to wait to go home.
Oh,
and so it's actually to drive people away. Wow. And so then I react to that. And if you care deeply about the environment, now might be the good time to skip ahead. But sometimes I'll regularly not anymore because, I don't have time for this. But I used to just take a big old line of it and just stick it into the toilet and just flush and watch it suck the toilet paper down like a big tongue.
I've done that
just
before.
like, hey, later, that's a 3.5. No. Yeah, so
to fully answer your question, that's what you're getting at. What are we as a household?
Yeah, what do y'all use?
My wife is more picky than I am.
Yeah.
She's not picky on the brand. She's just picky on how supple the paper is.
Supple.
So there's been many times that I've bought the wrong one because I more look at the price and
yep.
I'm like, that looks like a good deal, and I'm getting a lot of it. And I know it's not industrial grade, but she prefers it to be more soft. So usually we're not picky on the brand. Usually it's whatever Kroger's, Kroger's Charmin,
Kroger Charmin.
Kroger's Charmin.
Yeah.
So, but I do appreciate a nice, soft piece of paper.
Especially when you ain't paying for it.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. And that's what you can appreciate. If you're at somebody else's house.
So what I learned, Austin shared, he's Charmin only. He's mad if you don't have Charmin.
Well, exclusive.
And so I'm going to his, if I gotta go, I'm gonna go to his house before I leave.
I might have to keep that in mind.
Yeah. He's got the deluxe paper. And then as far as toilet paper, are y'all going over or under on that roll?
It needs to be over.
Okay. Does it need to be? Or is it
it's not I'm not that OCD that if I go somewhere and I'm this is upsetting.
Would you fix it?
No, I wouldn't fix it.
Okay.
But if I'm putting on the roll, it's going over. And I didn't really come to that realization until I did. I worked somewhat in housekeeping for a little while. I worked for a retirement home.
Oh, yeah.
In college. And,
that's...
let's see. So it was it was a nice one that people were the first one I worked at, people were independent.
Right.
So it basically was living in a community and basically all your needs are met for you or whatever. So you don't have to think about it. So anyways, I had gotten onto their housekeeping service after a little while. So basically you were doing what they do in hotels pretty much for these people, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot of great skills in terms of how to fold sheets super effectively or a big quantity. And anyways, that's where I learned on to the toilet paper. Is that so they trained you? They said it always goes over, and then you always do the crease,
the little
top.
Fold. Yeah.
Yes.
So they are brainwashing people.
Maybe, I don't know. That's just the hospitality thing. I think is where it comes from. So ever since I learned that, I was like, that's awesome. So I would do that in every room or whatever. And ever since then, I've done the roll goes over the top. And then you know what? That skill though came in handy because when I went through the police academy, they were super strict about, how clean your room had to be and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And that was one of the requirements was when they went and checked on your room,
the
toilet paper roll, it had to be facing outwards.
It did not have to be facing over.
It had to be. And
you're kidding me.
It needed to be creased. It was down to they had a manual for how your room was supposed to be kept, and that was in there. I wish I could probably find it.
Oh my goodness.
So so that came in handy. I was like, oh, this is no big deal for me. I've been here before. I'm just gonna keep doing the thing I've been doing for a while.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that they that they cared. Yeah. I would be I'm convinced it doesn't matter. I just throw the thing. In
No, they cared about a lot. I mean, like your bed. So like your bed had to be like they get out a ruler and it had to be like a certain amount of inches from the top, and then like the top fold had to be a certain amount or whatever. It's not really a big deal once you learn how to do it, but little things like that.
That is crazy. Well, there you go. As far as soap, are you a bar soap or liquid soap lad? Which are you?
Mostly liquid soap. I've dabbled in both.
Okay.
But I mostly use liquid soap just for the convenience factor.
Yes.
The thing that draws me back about bar soap is that I don't like the mess that it creates in the shower.
Yes.
Because either you have to have one of those
little station.
Yeah, so that's an extra thing to put in the shower.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but there's already enough things in there that if you take a quick turn in that shower, and I don't have, you're
going to skeet everything off with your elbow.
If you just got the standard American tub shower combo, there's not a whole lot of real estate in there.
Right.
So yeah, if you take a quick turn, something spooks you, you feel a soft breeze on your neck.
God forbid there's a spider somewhere in the shower.
Stuff's going everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so anyways, that's one more thing to fly.
And it gets that like sticky, like residue goopy.
Yeah. So that's the main reason. It's the mess that it can create that I got to clean that up. That's really the main thing. It's a convenience thing. I'm not like opposed. Like it's not going to throw off my day if someone gifted me some bar soap or whatever. Like I'm going to use it. It'd be kind of a weird gift.
Yeah. It's like, hey, what are you trying to say with this? You could just talk to me about it. No.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Liquid soap. That's the appropriate answer. Do you have any bathroom pet peeves? I mean, you've shared the goopy stuff, but is there anything else that happens in the domain of the bathroom that is like this is unacceptable? I just struggle with this.
So I did have one in mind. It has to do with traveling.
Okay.
So why is it every time you get onto an airplane that there's somebody, literally you have like hardly even taxied on the runway and someone's already got to use the bathroom? And I'm like, were you not just in the airport with the rest of us, like with access to a bathroom every 20 feet?
That isn't going to fill up.
Right. And it's not that, like, hey, yes, you got to go to the bathroom or whatever. It's not that I care that they're using the bathroom. It's that it's the process that it takes, especially if you're at the end, the row seat, that now everybody's got to stand up and then you got to make your merry way down the aisle. And just, I think it's inconsiderate. Yeah. I think it's actually mostly irresponsible that they couldn't manage their time.
Irresponsible.
I get if someone maybe had it was a layover and they had to go plane to hop, and I have done that before, and that is not a fun experience. That you're running to the next one, and you weren't able to time your meals and stuff like that, so you get on the next flight hungry and all this stuff. I know this is not really huge problems, but I get that if that's the situation, I would understand it. Maybe they should have some sort of admonishment when you get on the plane. Yeah. If I was a pilot,
figure it out, bud.
I'd be like, hey, look, I know for seat, I'd maybe even call out the seats. You are exempt. Or maybe a pass that you give them.
You get to poop as much as you want if you're in this row.
Right. Because you had just have been having a terrible travel experience today, so we're going to try and make it for you. But if you're fresh on that plane, if it's a 2-hour or less flight, in my personal opinion, no one should be using the bathroom.
Well, so I think what you're describing is the person that you're sitting outside the gate and you're chilling on your phone, you're getting your bag ready, and you can see the person and they're sitting there and they're just sipping a Starbucks and they're putting away 16 to 24 ounces of coffee real fast. And they're the ones that gets up and they're like, of course. They turn the light off and I immediately have to go. That's the culprit.
Yes. Perfect. I don't, it's just someone has mismanaged their time. And I think it's just the whole experience of having to get up and get out. I don't mind doing it. If I get it, if it's 3 or 4 hour flight that, someone's got to go, but it's such an inconvenience.
But figure it out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just be a little uncomfortable like the rest of us, and then just take care of it when you get off.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if if you can afford first class, then it's probably a little bit easier up there. But not in coach, man. We're all just kind of suffering through it together. So
yeah, the woes of coach.
Yes. So that would probably be a bigger. That thing always every time we fly, like that's something that's grinding my gears. And
is Bailey just sitting there like
she's like, just let it go.
Yeah, it's fine. You're gonna be okay.
And I'm like, no, that person in seat
Somebody needs to tell them.
J1's one more bathroom trip about hearing about it. So, yeah.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, that's something for me. But other than that, I mean, like, I don't, if someone like blows up a bathroom or something like that doesn't offend me. Like, it happens, I don't need any sort of explanation.
Right.
From somebody because I know that I'm probably just about to blow it up myself too. So. That doesn't bug me, but one thing that is kind of weird, I don't know if you go through this weird, it's probably some human psychology thing, but like, if you're using a stall,
okay,
and like, say you're the only one in the bathroom, you're using a stall, someone comes in there to like, say, use the urinal, and you just wrapped up, you're done, like, you could flush, you could stand up, go out of there. Do you exit the stall with them still at the urinal or about to wash their hands, or do you just go and let them finish up and then you make your exit? Do you ever time your exits from the stall is more of my question.
I only time my exits if there was significant amounts of noise being made that I know they heard.
Collateral damage.
Yes. Yeah. If I have to face the person that heard me, like, because when you fart into the toilet bowl, it's got reverb.
Right.
And so if I know that they heard it, sometimes I'll like, I think I used to. Nowadays, my life is spent so often around and about and just generally thinking on bathrooms that it's like, I don't know what you want from me.
You just go and make
this is my existence now. Yep. Yeah. So, but I definitely know what you're saying.
Yeah. Because I will time my exit.
Yeah.
If someone has just entered the bathroom, and like I said, it's probably a personal thing.
Yeah.
I will wait for them to go ahead and finish up, wash their hands, get out of there, and then make my exit. If they have just entered, maybe I'll just go ahead and make my exit.
Give them the time that they need.
Yes.
Dang.
And another thing I had.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a courtesy flush?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have you ever talked about that?
I haven't yet. It's on the docket. So I have like... Yeah. So where are you at are you like a regular courtesy flush guy?
I'm very pro.
Okay.
If I'm at home, no. There's no need for it.
Ooh.
At least in my current living arrangement. Just because it's my wife and I.
Yeah.
And we have other bathrooms. Yeah, she can deal.
Just,
she's something. I was more meaning we've got multiple bathrooms, so she can go use a different one.
My wife deals.
Yeah. But if I'm in a public area or like say a shared bathroom or something like that where I know someone else might be coming in there, as soon as the sludge has reached the porcelain, I'm going ahead and hitting that flush handle right away. And I found that can almost eliminate any sort of odor, foul, unpleasant odor, almost instantaneously. It neutralizes it. So I think I've realized that that's where the odor comes from. Is it from just sitting? Yeah. And if you can neutralize that thing fast, it's almost a non-issue.
So I'm actually, this is the weird. I'm not a courtesy flusher for a smell. Mm-hmm. I'm a courtesy flusher for the sound. So like I will hit the flush and I will time that flush for the exact like release of everything. And so it just, he flushed the toilet, and there's like heinous things happening in that flush time.
It's like cover fire.
Yeah, almost. We're laying down an over track to cover up the mess that's happening. It's kind of like auto tuning your bathroom situation. It's like
that's great. I might have to use that too. Especially if you got a nice prolonged, because some public ones have got a nice, it's a good minute-long process.
If you get one of those Sloan automatic flushers, you can just kind of reach back and hit the little button,
and it just fire.
And that's when you go. You just let it all fly. The worst, though, is when you do that, and you're just a little off. And then it's just ending, and then that's when the end of the happens. And then it's like, shoot, now I'm made. Like, they know exactly what I'm about.
They know what is about to happen,
Yeah. Well, cool. Now we know what gets you all fired up. I meant to ask this on the toilet paper. How many sheets you using when you like when you wipe? Are you, or does it just like it depends? We're just rolling this thing up.
I don't think. Yeah, I'm never like counting the sheets. But if I had to estimate per capita how many sheets I use, I'd say like 4 or 5 or 6 or so, somewhere around there
per wipe.
Yeah, probably.
See, so that's the norm. That's about the norm.
Yeah.
I've been explained to me that I'm a freak. I'm on record saying that you can do this in 3.
I believe it can be done if it's a Charmin. If it's like a nice
Costco, baby, that Costco bog roll is it. Like,
it's pretty supple though, right?
It's not bad.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's probably about what we're working with here.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Like, well, cool.
You can do it with 3.
I'm convinced, unless it's exceptionally wet,
right.
And then you just add an extra.
It is something that goes through my mind if I'm in a Charmin household.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And you know when you are.
Yeah. I mean, if this wasn't sponsored by Charmin, I mean,
those big red beautiful bears, like.
When you're in a Charmin household, you know you're in a place of beauty.
Yeah.
And you're like...
They shop at Hobby Lobby. They have to. It's required.
Yeah.
Like...
I am conscious of... Sometimes on that first roll, you're like, whoa, I need to dial it back.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah. I'm not working with my usual quantities here, and there's a lot of paper between my hands. Yeah. And so sometimes I've had to backtrack and be like, I'm going to turn this into 2 wipes.
Yes.
Which is a responsible thing to do. Like the damage... can be reversed a little bit. Now, the irresponsible thing would be like, well, I'm just going to send it anyways. Yeah.
Or to crumple it up and throw it in the trash next to you.
That's just...
It's like, you don't even care.
Yeah, those
it's like you hate me.
You're right. That's terrible. So I think you just have to adapt by the situation you're in. I mean, because if you're, like I said, we talked about the single ply, then I don't even know how many.
Who cares? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Single ply, you just got to keep spinning.
But you mentioned the automatic flushers, so you have good luck with those.
They flush every time when I don't want them to. Like, you shift and it goes, and it's the worst.
Okay, I was curious if... I'm sure most people deal with that,
and the worst is like when you're trying
flushing.
to wipe, and then it goes and it like splashes your hand. Yeah. Because you're wiping, it's like, can we not?
Yeah,
like,
it's a bidet experience that you didn't ask for.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They call that the poor man's bidet.
Yeah, the poor man's bidet. What's Jerry doing on the drinking fountain? Oh, no.
Well, at least he's clean.
Yeah. Can we get the pressure turned up on the bidets? Those are drinking fountains, bud.
Those are drinking fountains.
Man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, this is a blast.
And hanging out and getting some grub. I'm gonna do the shameful end of the episode thing that I think it was Austin. I feel like when you see a dog taking a poop in their yard, like in your yard, and you're like, yep, there he is. And he's like awkwardly like squatting, like, That's how I feel every time I do the outro stuff. So, feel free to say whatever. But yeah, thank you all for listening. As always, we'd like to thank Kevin MacLeod for the use of Barroom Ballet as the intro and outro music. You can find Kevin's music at incompetech.com, and his music is licensed under Creative Commons License Attribution 4.0. Thanks, Kevin. This has been another episode of Privy. Thanks again for listening. Thank you for having me over. And thanks to your wife for putting up with this nonsense.
It's been a pleasure.
And now, as always, and I'm gonna migrate. We're gonna see what happens here. Don't forget to flush. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Cord's pretty long. I'm gonna go for it.
Oh yeah, that's great to have a sound clip of everybody's toilet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're in.
You're still good. You're still good.
We're in. There.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, that's a good hearty flush.
Yeah.